Welcome back then folks to the second build of day 4 of pack number 10 in the special project series, and this is one which I've had built for quite some time. It was a matter of time before I did it, of course, because for those who don't know, and I do occasionally talk about it, this is probably my favourite Japanese car. Not the Spoon version, but in general the DC2 Integra. I am yet to drive one, so I could be disappointed. I was not a fan of the Civic Type Rs that I drove, the FD2 and the FN2, so I hope it doesn't disappoint me, but I do hope to own a DB8 at some point in real life, which is the ultra-rare 4-door version of this Integra, but we'll see, fingers crossed on that one. For now, this of course is another, much like the Evo earlier on, returning face from Gran Turismo's past, the Spoon Integra. Much more modest than many of the other aftermarket cars, not a huge power hike, not a massive drop in weight as you can see. We are using Gran Turismo 6 as a more recent reference in terms of its spec. And even in terms of what you can do with it, as you can see, it sits really nicely right under 500 points. So you could definitely use this thing in front-wheel drive events or 500-point events if you wanted to. Of course, I will have put on screen that you can grab this particular livery via the link right below. I'm actually going to put 2 links because this player did both versions. There's a yellow one and a white one, so I've linked both of those. I personally prefer yellow, but go for whichever one you like. So we've got the sports silencer, the sports pads. As far as the tyres, I've just upgraded slightly to sports hards. As far as the club sports section, we've got the sports clutch and flywheel, the discs as well. Then as far as the semi-racing stuff, we've got the semi-racing silencer, the fully customised diff, and I actually have, for a change, opted to increase the body rigidity. As far as the racing stuff, we've got polished ports, the race filter, silencer, and manifold. The fully customised suspension, you could say that's a bit overkill, but hey, each to their own. And then as far as the extreme section, again, it's not a drift car, but with a front-wheel drive chassis where you really want that turn-in through corners to be even better than the DC2 already is, I would recommend giving the steering angle adapter a try. And as far as the ultimate stuff, nothing is fitted. So like I said, it's a really simple build. It's a super easy one to do, and it's not even that much of a power hike really over the standard DC2. I think one of the things that I always liked about this car, aside from the yellow and the really cool chin splitter and etc., is how kind of real it feels compared to many of the other super crazy aftermarket cars. So in terms of the tuning itself, at least if you do want it to be about the same point level as I've got, we've got the sports hards fitted. As far as the suspension, 110mm is what we've lowered it to, 4 on anti-roll, 34 and 40 for the dampers, 2.25 for the springs, no camber on the rear, and half a degree on the front. Then for tow, I've towed it in, so more than a few similarities here to the Evo rally car that I did earlier on today, for similar reasons as well. So I've towed it in by 0.5 on the front, and especially with a front-wheel drive car, that really helps with the turn-in through corners. No tow on the rear. As far as the diff, I've gone for 10, 30 and 20. If I recall correctly, I think that's actually the standard that particular fully customised diff comes with, if I recall correctly. I found that I didn't actually need to change it. It was already pretty damn good through corners. If you do want to change it, that's totally fine though. As far as the transmission, of course, that was standard, no ballast, no ECU adjustment. As far as downforce, I've got it fairly low on 18. The reason why it's on 18, which seems a bit weird, is so that it's as high as it can go without breaking that 500-point barrier. So you could put it all the way up, you could put it all the way down. I'll totally leave that down to you. It's not exactly like an Integra needs a huge amount of downforce to be good. It's already good anyway, but again, it's your choice. And then over here you can see all of the bits and bobs that we fitted. All, the handful of things that we did actually fit. So, as always, we will jump out to the track, and I can show you what this thing is like in practice. This one, much in the same way as I said about the Tommy Cairo Silvia earlier in the week, is definitely one of my favourite aftermarket cars. I've always loved this one. My existing love for the Integra DC2 certainly helps with that as well, and Spoon has so much love from plenty of players throughout the series, and I think this is actually, the third, I think it might be, technically Spoon build that I've done. I kind of did a Spoon Honda Fit in the form of the Super Taiku Racing version in the blue and yellow. Of course, I did the most famous Spoon, probably, from Gran Turismo, the Spoon S2000 race car, and now we've got this one. So there's kind of only 1 or 2 left, and I will probably at some point do the Spoon Civic in the Special Projects pack as well. But in terms of using it, it's exactly what you're expecting. It's a DC2 Integra that's just turned a little bit better, a little bit less weight, a little bit more power. In fact, the weight I think is actually about the same as what it already was, but a little bit more power, a little bit more focused and sharper handling, slightly better brakes, etc. Essentially taking a car that's already fantastic and making it that bit better, which to me is perfect. So if you do use it, I hope you enjoy it. For 500 points, it could be a useful card, depending on what you want to use it for. And of course, if you are new to special projects and this is the first one that you're checking out, obviously check out the other ones which I've done this week, as well as the previous packs over the previous months. In fact, like over a year at this point that I've been doing on the channel. But I'll see you next time with more. Tomorrow is already the last day of pack number 10, so I hope you've enjoyed it so far, and we'll get to those tomorrow. But for now, thanks for watching.